Today, I want to share with you the teachings of one of the greatest thinkers of the 20th century, a master of clarity and inner transformation. Though I won't mention his name outright, I believe he is the only man capable enough to provide clarity on matters we are becoming primitive or completely unaware of. His teachings are more relevant now than ever, and this century desperately needs his wisdom and works. That is why I feel compelled to bring his insights to you. I know you seek to create, to manifest a reality that aligns with your deepest desires. But how can you create consciously if your mind remains an enigma, a mystery you have yet to understand? Understanding the mind is not just an intellectual pursuit, it is the foundation of conscious living. Without this understanding, even the most profound truths remain out of reach, like treasures buried beneath the surface. You've heard countless times that you are the creator of your reality. You've repeated it to yourself, hoping to feel its power. Yet deep within, if you are honest, you may find doubt lingering. Why? Because when the workings of the mind are unclear, when it operates on autopilot, driven by fears, doubts, and conditioning, this truth remains elusive. In such a state, you don't create deliberately. You are shaped by circumstances and influenced by the chaos within. Today's video is inspired by the profound teachings of a great person, a master who illuminated the path to understanding the mind and its intricacies. His insights remind us that knowing the mind is not just a relief but a necessity if you wish to live as a conscious creator of your destiny. He often stated, "The mind is a beautiful servant, but a dangerous master." To live intentionally, you must first unravel the layers of the mind, its patterns, its fears, and its illusions, and bring it into harmony with your being. This is why I share more than subliminals with you. I share insights, teachings, and wisdom to help you dive deeper into understanding yourself and the workings of your mind. While subliminals are powerful tools, they work best when your mind is clear, understood, and receptive. My goal is not only to help you manifest your desires, but to guide you toward uncovering the clarity and power already within you. Without understanding the mind, manifestation is like sailing without a compass, drifting aimlessly, hoping for the best. If you are here for subliminals, there are many I've already created for a variety of desires, but I urge you to take this moment to embrace a deeper journey. These teachings are not a detour. They are an essential path to becoming a deliberate, empowered creator. Understand your mind, and you will understand your path. Now, let us dive into this transformative journey together, one that the timeless wisdom of this great thinker will illuminate. Prepare to unlock the mysteries of the mind and return to the essence of your being, where creation begins in its purest form. Understanding the mind is not just a journey, it is the journey. The mind is both your tool and your trap. It is a double-edged sword. If you use it with awareness, it can create a bridge to the infinite. If you allow it to use you, it becomes a wall, cutting you off from the very life that surrounds you. The first thing to understand about the mind is that it is not yours. This may shock you, but it is the truth. The mind is a mechanism given to you by society, by education, by culture. You were born without it. When a child is born, they have no mind. They only have awareness, pure consciousness, like a blank slate. The mind is added later. It is the accumulation of thoughts, beliefs, and knowledge that society pours into you. It is a borrowed entity. The mind is a crowd. It is not one thing. It is many voices clamoring for attention. Your parents, your teachers, your priests, your politicians, all have written on your mind, and you have mistakenly taken these scribblings to be your own. The mind is full of borrowed knowledge, secondhand truths, and hand-me-down beliefs. And the tragedy is, you think this is you. You identify with it. But how can you be something that is not even original to you? The mind works in time. It is always tethered to the past or the future. It cannot exist in the present because the present is too vast, too silent. The present moment is the doorway to the eternal, and the mind is terrified of it. The mind thrives on noise, on activity, on movement. It survives by keeping you constantly occupied, either with memories of the past or fantasies of the future. But in doing so, it keeps you away from the real, from the now. The mind is a survival mechanism. It is a brilliant tool, a sophisticated computer. It is useful for navigating the practicalities of life. You need the mind to calculate, to analyze, to plan, to build bridges and fly airplanes. But the problem arises when you forget that you are the master and the mind is the servant. The moment the servant becomes the master, your life falls into chaos. The mind loves to solve problems, even when no problems exist. It creates problems to keep itself busy. Have you noticed how your mind is constantly chattering, even when there is no need? It jumps from one thought to another, like a monkey swinging from branch to branch. This incessant chatter creates an inner noise that drowns out the voice of your being. And because you are so identified with the mind, you mistake its noise for your reality. The mind is also deeply conditioned by fear. It clings to the known, to the familiar, because it is afraid of the unknown. The unknown is dangerous to the mind, because in the unknown, the mind cannot function. It becomes useless. That is why the mind resists meditation. Meditation is the art of entering the unknown, of stepping into the vastness of existence without the crutch of the mind. And the mind will fight this with all its might. It will throw up doubts, distractions, and excuses to keep you from going beyond it. You must understand, the mind is not your enemy. It is simply a mechanism, a tool. It becomes your enemy only when you identify with it. When you believe that you are your thoughts, you become a prisoner of the mind. But the moment you step back and become the watcher, the witness, the master, the mind falls into its rightful place. Then it becomes a servant, and a very useful one. The key to understanding the mind is awareness. Awareness is the light that dissolves the darkness of the mind. When you observe the mind without judgment, without attachment, a miracle happens. The mind begins to slow down. The thoughts lose their grip on you, and in that silence you discover your true self, the consciousness beyond the mind. The mind can be transcended, but it cannot be destroyed. Do not fight the mind, do not suppress it. Fighting the mind only strengthens it because the very act of fighting gives it energy. Instead, watch it, be a witness. This witnessing is not a doing, it is a state of being. When you watch the mind, you are no longer in the mind. You are above it, beyond it. And remember, the mind is not bad. It is not evil. It is simply mechanical. It does what it has been programmed to do. But you are not mechanical. You are consciousness. Consciousness is freedom. Consciousness is infinite. Consciousness is divine. When you disidentify from the mind, you reclaim your freedom. You reclaim your divinity. So do not try to stop the mind. Let it be. Let it chatter. Let it jump. Let it create its noise. You simply step aside and watch. In that watching, you will find a space, a gap between you and the mind. And in that gap, truth arises, peace arises, bliss arises. The journey of understanding the mind is the journey to yourself. It is the journey to the ultimate. And the beauty is, this journey does not take you anywhere. It simply brings you home, to the place you have always been but have forgotten. Meditate on this. Watch your mind, and you will see the truth of my words. And in that seeing, you will know that the mind is a wonderful servant, but a terrible master. Be the master. Be the witness, and you will know the infinite. Let this be your meditation today.